Hi guys, Squall here, and welcome to another episode of my realistic playthrough of Derail Valley. What I've done here is I've just disconnected. Yep, so basically the job that we brought in, which was all this stuff, we brought it in on the triple head, if you remember. In the previous episode, I have just taken the shunting job to unload it, basically, because it pays quite well. It's 30k plus a bonus. Gonna be, what, around about 45k, I imagine. Assuming I've just done it right. Let's find out. And there we go. Total payment, 44,259. Absolutely lovely. Quick look at our fees. And looks like all of our copay is done. We've got a 13,000 copay. So anything that we do with these locomotives now, we won't have to pay for. That's the bottom line, because that's the 13,000 copay in full. Now then, I did hope to have a DH4 here in the previous episode, but I don't see one around. What we can do, we can actually use the map, and we can pay to travel to another city and come back. And when you do that, if you're willing to pay for it, when you come back, what you'll find is that the locomotives over in the yard there will randomly generate, as will the list of jobs. The list of jobs is not fantastic at the moment. Let me just shut the engine off. So what I'm thinking of doing is jumping city and seeing what we can get, and hopefully we can get ourselves a DH4. So, let's do that. Right, now just before we do teleport away, one of the reasons why I'm doing it is because these jobs are not particularly exciting. There's nothing paying the bills here as far as I'm concerned. It is around about 2 o'clock. When we fast travel, it will take some of that time away. So when we come back again, it'll probably be around about 3:30, something like that. We're at the machine factory. Closest point is the coal power plant, so let's jump over there. $299. I think we can afford that, given the amount of money we've just earned. How much money have we got now? 366,000. Fantastic. If you've never seen the coal power plant, it is quite a cool little place. Absolute nightmare to deal with when you first come here in terms of track layout. But it was added in a recent update. I think it was B98. Probably been in the game less than a year, I think. Don't quote me on that. But it is one of the more recent additions to the game. There are sometimes locomotive spawns around here, but I don't see any. There's sometimes one over there somewhere. I don't see any. So let's teleport back and see if we've got lucky. What time is it now? There you go. Yeah, so it'd take about half an hour, didn't it? About 25 minutes, half an hour. So we'll teleport back, and it'll be around 3 o'clock back there. There we go, back at the station office. You can see the shadows have moved, and lo and behold, not that bad actually. It's that's taken less than an hour, isn't it? But we've got some new jobs. What have we got here? We've got some Forest Central jobs. We've got a big one there, Fragile Long, 36 grand to Forest South. That could be an instant job, because Forest South is a fun place to go to. There's a drop-off up here for some long fragile stuff that we could do. Sawmill, Harbour Town Steel Mill. Okay. Now, Forest South is basically... Well, this is Forest Central here, FRC, and Forest South is FRS, this one here. It's a bit of an interesting place to get to. Quite a fun place to go to, though, if you've not been there. And there is actually a thing here. So that little bit of track there. There's a little thing there, like a garage. You can get I think it's a caboose in that one. There are hidden things on the map. There's one over here. You see that bottom right? There's one here near Forest South. There's one up there, which has a little BE2 shunter. And there's actually a garage at City South. Now, the garage at City South contains something that we will need when we do the museum stuff. And the key for that is sold here. So before we leave here, we're going to buy the key for that. And maybe a couple of bits of equipment that we can stick on a DH4 at some point. We'll go and have a look over at the shed and see if we've been lucky, but I quite like the look of the jobs. It's just a case of whether we've been lucky with the locomotive spawn. It's not the end of the world if there's no DH4, but I kind of like to drive that. Right, there's a D2, there's a D6, another D6, another D2, another D2. Maybe the locos don't actually respawn. Oops. Maybe the locos don't respawn, maybe it's just the jobs. I thought the locos did as well, but I think that might be what we saw on the way in. Okay, right, well, that's fine. It's not the end of the world. We'll use the existing locomotives, and we'll take that job down to Forest South. First thing I want to do, though, is go over to the shop, which is just over here, and buy some stuff. Now, this is a interesting shop. We've already been here before, but we're going to buy some things today that we're not going to use immediately. 366,000 we have, so we pick up this here. And one of the things I want to get is a switch setter. This is a really useful piece of equipment, and we'll mount it on the DH4 when we get hold of one. We won't lose it, but if we stop using the DH4 for a period of time, it will despawn the DH4, and then this will appear back in our shed. I'll explain it when we get to mounting things, but what we want is that, because it's useful. We need a hammer so that we can actually remove items after we put them on. Now, we can either get a drill or we can duct tape things on. We'll get a bit of duct tape for now. We're not going to use any of the other things immediately. We need to mount that onto a plate. Now, I'll get a large plate, and if we can find any other kind of plate... Oh, we need sticky tape. Is it duct tape or sticky tape we need? I think it's duct tape we need. I can't remember, though. Using for attaching lightweight items such as documents to surfaces. A tool used to loosely secure mounts. Yeah, so we can use that in lieu of drilling things. So maybe we'll go down that road. Duct tape. We'll get a medium plate. So we've got a large plate, a medium plate. And then I might just get an angle bracket if there is one around. Let's see. There. Medium slanted. That would do as well. So we can mount it on the desk if we want to. Don't worry about these other items, paints and stuff. We will need some solder reel to wire the thing in. So we'll buy a few of them. We'll buy a few more. They always come in handy. We won't buy the cassettes or anything like that. They don't sell the solder gun here. We will need it to wire it in, but we'll have to buy that later. And the garage key. Olaf's garage key. So that's going to unlock the vehicle shed in City South when we eventually go back there. I nearly forgot that then. Crikey. We won't bother with any of the other stuff for now. So that'll do. We'll put that back on the desk. That's going to cost us 23,000. It's a lot of money, but it means, you know, we've got the stuff, and we don't need to come back here to get it when we need it. It will spawn it here. I'm just going to leave it. It doesn't matter. We can just respawn it back in our shed. Let's get back into the station there and pick up that job. Right, it's coming up for 4 o'clock. The weather forecast is fairly dry for the rest of the day, so that's not so bad. Looking at this, we've got the job that goes to Forest Central and a job that goes to Forest South. Now, we could try both on this. This could be interesting because if we can come out the machine factory, we can actually go into Forest Central here and make that drop as C2I. And then what we can do is we can carry on, come down this winding track here, and then back up that way to Forest South. Or you can even take a crazy route, which is down this way. You come up there, and then you loop around here. I'm not going to do that one. The thing is about Forest Central is this bit here is extremely twisty, but by then we'll only have the job for Forest South on it, so it won't be too bad. Now, in terms of weight, it's not very heavy. This one is 153 tons, and this one's 100 tons, so 2 DE2s could easily haul that. Assuming we've got the fuel left, we should be okay. I need to check the fuel status on both those DE2s. We won't need the DM3, so we can leave that behind. Now, in terms of drop-offs, we're going to be dropping off Forest South last, so we need to pick that one up first, and then we need to pick up the Forest Central one. Now, if you look at them, both of them are in, one's in B20 Machine Factory, and the other one is in B50 Machine Factory. And if we look at where that is, the B yard at Machine Factory is here, which I think is where we are. However, we're going to be going out south. And we're currently facing, our trains are facing north. It's a bit of a pain, this, turning around at Machine Factory, but it is doable. We have done it before. One option is the turntable, which is okay depending on how many locomotives you've got. And the other one is to use that reversing point towards the military we've looked at before. What I'm going to do is probably, because I need to leave the DM3 somewhere safe, because we're not going to get it repaired. We don't have the license to repair it. But we need to leave it not in a dangerous position, as it were. All 3 of these will not fit in that little military gap there at the reversing point. So what I'll probably have to do is push them out here, reverse towards D, leave the DM3 somewhere around here, and then I'll go into the turntable, turn both of these DE2s around because they'll fit, and then bring it back out reverse to B. So I will relocate these, and then we'll pick it up. Let's have a quick look at the fuel status. This one is on a half of a tank, and this one here is on, well, half of a tank. So I think that's going to be enough. I can't guarantee, but I think it should limp us there. I think we'll be okay. So let's start her up, and I'll get things moved. There you go. I am going to leave the DM3 in that little passenger platform there. There's no passenger services currently, so I can do that. Otherwise, I could have left it over in one of the sidings, but this'll do. What I'm going to do now is take us over to the turntable here, turn these things around, and then reverse them back to the B yard. Here they come. We'll just get it slowed down a little bit. Yeah, 2 DE2s will easily fit on here. It's quite big, this thing. You couldn't get 2 DE6s on here, though. I think you might get 2 DH4s just. Also, when you do this, just make sure your wheels are not beyond the gap in the track there. I did that once, and on a stream, it wasn't fun. Well, it was fun if you was watching. It wasn't fun for me. It caused a lot of damage, and my wheels were just over, and it pinged the train. But yeah, there we go. Turn it around. Then we'll go forward, reverse over to B, and pick up our loads in the right order. There we go. Now, assuming I've got this right, FH45. Just turn the brake off a sec. FH45 is the Forest South, which is our last drop-off. Easy. There we go. Lovely. Let's get that hooked up. Locked in. Connect the brake pipes. Undo the stop cocks on that, and then hope that the... Nope, it's at the back. This is the big problem with realistic difficulty. You gotta walk everywhere, or rather short teleport everywhere. There we go. So, this is FH45 front and back, so we'll go forward now. And the next pickup is on, if you have a look here, on B50, which is a set of tractors, which I've not mistaken is this lot here. So, tractors front and back. Of course, the handbrake is on at the back, so I may as well undo that. Go down to the front here. Now, you can do this without the handbrake on, but when you reverse into it, what will happen is you'll tap it and it'll have a tendency to run away, so it pays to have a handbrake car on. It just makes it easier to connect to the thing, otherwise it will just roll off. But yeah, clear night. I think it's going to be a nighttime drop-off. What I'll do is we'll connect this all up, and then we'll plan our routing, set all our switches as best we can for the whole route, then we'll hand the job in. I think we'll be able to get away with just running one locomotive, pretty much from Machine Factory. This is all downhill to City West. This is all flat through here. We want to be turning on... Sorry, we're going this way, not that way. It's downhill here. That is a slight climb. Actually, we'll run 2 locomotives till we get to Forest Central, and then we should be okay with one. Even that climb, I think one will handle... let's get the brakes on. One will handle because it'll only be 153 tons plus the other DE2. It should be able to deal with that. Right, so in the B yard, we want to go to 50, so we'll set that to right, 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 and then left into 50. Put that into reverse. I always put 1 notch of power in, just give it a chance to get moving, then gradually bring in all the time, making sure there's no wheel slip. It's all about momentum. When the wheels start to roll, there's far less chance of wheel slip, but in the wet, you really do have to be a lot more careful with it all. So if we've done that right, then our locomotive and train should come this way. There we go. Just want a slight roll. That's perfect. Grab hold of that. Connect it up. And now we can safely release that. Okay. Next thing to consider is our routing then. So, this time we're going to go a slightly different way. We will be coming out of Machine Factory, and we'll be coming straight through here. So we keep right. Remember, this is upside down, so we're coming from here. Keep right straight through there. City West, we're going to want to keep left. Ignore the join. Then we're going to want to keep left through here. No, I've done a major mistake already. Let me start again. We're going to come down through coal power plant. Then we're going to take a left here because we want to go this way. Then we want to turn right up to Forest Central. After we've gone through Forest Central, we decided we were going to go left to come down this side. Then we'll merge and then we'll get to here. And this will be a right turn through that triangle. And then we'll make the climb up here. And then at this point, we want to go right turn. So from there, we're going to go right turn straight into Forest South. Now, we'll just need to double check some things. The coal power plant, when we're coming from the machine factory here, we're going to be merging, so we don't need to worry about that. And then we just make sure we're keeping left so we don't end up going into the coal power plant. That's the first thing. Next thing is Forest Central. We know that our Forest Central drop, according to this information here, is going to go to C2I. So if we have a look at Forest Central, and bearing in mind we're coming in from the north side of Forest Central, yeah? And we want to go to C2I. We're coming in from the north. There's the north there, the red bit. So we're coming from the north, we want to go to C2I. And as you can see, it's a little bit of a pain because the C yard is a siding. So what you have to do is you have to come in this way. There's nothing you can do. We're going to have to go straight through B and then reverse back. Take a right turn into C. So let's set up C first. C is going to be C2I. So as we're coming in from here now into the siding, there's the dead end. We're going to go left and then right. So we'll be going into C2I. But we need to set up B to drive straight through. There's two options for B. One is to go straight through here, or you can go through the loading bay. Well, we may as well go straight through. So we keep right and then keep left. That will take us straight through. So we just need to get to the other side of Forest Central here, and then we'll have to switch that and come back into C and make the drop. Then if we have a look at the map, we're going to go from Forest Central. We're going to come through. We don't go through the farm, we actually bypass on the north side of the farm. Then we make that right turn. Then we keep right into Forest South. Now Forest South's drop is B2I. So if we have a look at Forest South, it looks like this, and we will be coming in from the north, yeah? So from the north, which according to the red thing is this side, and we're coming into B directly. So given that we want to go to B2I, we'll have a look at where B2I is. Now, because it's an input line, it will be empty. Just remember you're coming in from the north, so we're going to come in this way, so we need to keep right, keep right, keep right, keep left. If you wanted to, you could flip both switches so that you're definitely, you know, in case you accidentally come this way, you get your north and south mixed up. You could set that up there, but I know this is north, so right, 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 left, and that's a straight in disconnect drop. Okay, that's as much prep as we can do to put it into forward gear. Hand this thing in, run back to the locomotive, and get going. Right then. First job. Second job. We shall disconnect those brakes. Get one notch so that you can start rolling. And we're going to have to start that other locomotive. Now, what I'll probably do... I've currently got the second locomotive operational. Let's hope I can catch my train up before it gets too quick. Looks pretty good though, doesn't it? It's quite a long train consist, but it's not particularly heavy, which is fine for us. But now we've got to move in. What we'll do is we'll jump into here, and I will brake cut that one, which is obviously, we've now got no operational brakes. We'll start this one up, brake that one in, and then we'll pair the loco to this one here. And now we should be able to operate both locomotives. And don't forget, when you tap X, it makes you sit down, but if you hold X, you can mouse wheel to just adjust the sitting position. So when you're not sitting, you'll stand like that, but when you're sitting, if it's too low, just hold X and mouse wheel to get comfortable. It does vary from loco to loco, so it's worth checking that. But yeah, we just need to keep our eye on it now. Assuming we've got everything right on our switches, it should be a fairly plain sailing. Weather forecast is good. We'll just make sure that we've got our lights on. Cab lights are on. Dash light is on, yeah, everything's lit. DH4 layout, when we finally get to DH4, you'll see it's a little bit different to the DE2, but they're largely the same. Now there's a 60 left turn coming up here, and normally we go right and go down to City West. We just need to make sure you keep the brakes active here, because it is a downward slope. And you can see it's now changed to a 50 left. So I want to get our speed at least under 60. We've got a left switch, which is correct. And then you can see the gradient minus 0.8. So it continues to go down. So you will have a tendency to keep picking up speed as you round this corner here. So we've come out of Machine Factory, we're now on this part of the map. So making that left turn here to Forest Central, minus 1.1. So we're going to pick up speed again with an 80 limit. Okay, there's an 80 kilometer limit, and that sign there means it's level, relatively level. So we're not going to pick up speed or not. But 60 is fine, we can just coast right now, save some fuel. And we're preparing ourselves for a right turn into Forest Central. As we're coming over that bridge there, we're just making a left turn. Then we're looking for a right turn into Forest Central. This is the one we're going to have to go through. It's a climb when you get past, so we're going to have to keep the power on. And then it's a reverse back downhill into Forest Central. Now the problem is when you first play this game, you don't know any of this. There are gradient maps online that you can look at, which might help. Or just keep your eyes out for the signs and don't go too quickly. And you should just quickly learn the track layouts. So here we go. You can see that gradient's changing. We've got 100 limit, but that limit's coming down. And then we've got a positive 0.7 gradient. I can't imagine the speed limit's 60 or 50 or any less than that. It's not a sharp right. It looks like a 60 sign ahead. So we're losing speed now. We'll just bring a little notch of power in just to keep the speed up. Momentum is key. Forest Central is not an easy place to get in through, particularly if you take a very heavy load. We've got 153 tons plus 102, so 250 tons plus 2 DE2s. And a DE2 weighs 38 tons, okay. Okay, it's a 50 limit right, you see that? And then it says 2.6, this is a really sharp gradient, so I'm going to get the power in now, because we are about to lose momentum. And this is why I've got two locos up here. The actual forest is effectively on a big hill, so we're going to climb up, then we keep climbing up, and then eventually we drop down towards the farm. But it is a real pain, this place, to get through. I don't come here that often for that reason. So we're basically coming into this bit here, and then we're going to go through B. That's what's happening. There you go. You can get plenty of jobs to pick up logs here. As we come through, we'll just keep our eyes out for any museum vehicles. I can't remember if there's a spawn area or not here. There's the 30 sharp turn. And although we've set our points, we'll just double check anyway. Yep, we're going straight through. So there's the loading bay on the right. And there's a straight through track here, so right left is straight through. basically we're coming through this bit now, and that's the loading bay on the right. Yeah, you get a feel for the place. You see how long our train is. The yard on the right there is what we're going to reverse into in a minute. Yeah, I don't see any locomotives around. Okay, so what we're looking for now is this switch here. You can see it highlighted in the world over there. That's what we're looking for. We need to go past that with the back of our train. And there's the green light. There's the station. So as soon as we've dropped off, we can run in there and hand the job in. Notice the gradient. See that? Plus 1.9 is a steep gradient with a 30 limit. So I'm just going to jump out. We'll keep the power as it is and just let the speed bleed off of that gradient. And then we need to flip that switch and reverse. Just keep your eye on the range here. If it starts to get into yellow, we'll start to lose signal. There we go. Put the brakes on now. We'll flick that. We'll jump on the back. There we go. Right, let's double check the drop-off. Forest Central into C2I is where we're dropping. Uncouple at C2I. We've got our switch set to go into C. And we've got a left, right into 2I. So all the way back to the end there. So we'll just keep reversing until this car here is at the back. And then we'll run forward, disconnect, hand the job in and get out of here. This place can be a bit of a nightmare at night, or if it's raining, or if visibility's bad. You really can't see what you're doing here. And you'll definitely need to have a torch or a flashlight with you if that happens. Right, we don't want to go any further than that little sign there, really. Otherwise we risk interfering with operations on the adjacent tracks. So anywhere here should be just about okay. Lovely. Okay, that car number is 223. 223 is the one here, which means we're looking for 782. There should be 6 cars, and then 782 is the one we want to disconnect. 1, 2, that's 3. 4, 5, and 6. So it should be that one. That should be 782. Yes, perfect. Also, the job number's F866, which should be a different job number to that one. That's another way you can tell. So we'll put the handbrake on that car. Disconnect them, and we'll just get the train moving slowly. Get that job. And that should be payday for us. Look at that. Another 22 Gs. Very nice. Right. Onward and upward. Okay, so this bit is a very windy bit of track, and coming down the other side here is an extremely windy bit of track. Effectively, it goes up to about here, and then it drops steeply down towards the steel mill. It is a painful track, this. If you come through here, 30 kilometers per hour, and just manage your momentum because it is a bit of a tricky bit of track. Alright, so this is the peak. It's been a climb all the way till this point. And what's going to happen now is the gradient flips the other way. And it goes down. So there's the switch left, which means we are here, basically. We're about to switch left. We should see the farm on our right, but you can see the gradient. Look, -3. Coming this way is a real challenge. 3% gradient is always a challenge. And then just to top it all off, 3% gradient with a speed limit of 40. Okay, right. If we look to our right, there's a track coming in to the farm. So you actually get a really nice view of the farm up here. The farm running east-west, we're coming in from the west side. But yeah, there might be a locomotive down at the farm, a museum locomotive. So next time we stop at the farm, we need to check it out. I think in my last playthrough I found a DM3 down there, the museum DM3. Farm's a pretty good place for jobs, -2.6. Look at this. Look at the speed. The farm's a pretty good place for jobs. You can always get like long consists out of there. And then next to it's the Orwell Central, just further west. The Orwell Central's fantastic. Once you've got all the licenses for like petroleum and that kind of thing, Orwell Central's a really good place for jobs. Okay, so that's put us back onto the main line piece of track now, which is here. But yeah, that section of track there, that is some of the hardest track to climb to go into Forest Central. Very twisty and very high gradients. Now, we've been down here before. We've got a right turn with a sharp climb. That's the steering wheel over there. It looks like it's getting misty. And we have a 50 limit. So we just need to make sure that we keep momentum up. Get the power on. Power's coming away now. That sharp climb. And that is how you tackle that one. So, pretty on the home straight now, quite literally. We've got to come up here, right turn, straight through into Forest Central. Forest South, sorry. And we've already set Forest South. So we're straight into B if we've got it right. And we're looking for B2I. There will be, when we drop this off, there will be an equivalent unload job, so we can do that as well. If you just... You don't technically need to disconnect from the consist. You need to put a handbrake on, but I always disconnect as a matter of course. Oh, it's raining. Is it raining? It is raining. The forecast didn't have any rain on it, but that is definitely rain. I tell you what, I am glad we got through Forest Central before that rain came. Okay, 80 limit with a down arrow, which means the speed limit is going to decrease as we go into this tunnel, but we don't know what it's going to decrease down to. There's a 60. It's going dark now, but we are coming through the tunnel and we'll be approaching Forest South shortly. Okay, plus 1.8 gradient. And we're approaching the switches as well, so if you're approaching the switches, you probably want to keep it somewhere around the 30-40 mark. So there's a 50 limit through into here. And we better hope we've got our switches right, which it looks like we do. There's the green light for the station. Yeah, straight into 2i. Perfect. That's the loading bay to the right, so as soon as we drop this, I can pull forward. Basically leave the engine running. I can pull forward, reverse in, unload that. Pick up the next job, obviously, which will be the unload job, and get paid again. So it looks like we basically got here. I thought we'd get here and it'd be completely dark, but it's actually just late in the evening. But the track is now wet, so you've just got to be careful with your braking. Maybe start a little earlier than you normally would. That should do it. What I will do though is I'll turn off this engine. We don't need to be running two now. Get that handbrake on. Should get a nice bonus. Lovely, look at that. 54,000. Which is fantastic money, and then it's now generated this shunting job for another 25,000. So I'm going to quickly do that, and then we'll wrap things up. Well, as you can see, it is pretty dark now. But I've got most of them. I've got it all unloaded. There was one lot of job over there, some cars here, and this particular car has to go here into 7S. There's already some stuff here, but it's conveniently next to the station, so not too bad. So I think that will do quite nicely. Just there. Get the car's brake on. As you can see, it's really difficult to see what you're doing now. Disconnect that. And what we'll do is we'll put the handbrake on this thing and turn off the engine. And that should be some bonus cash. There we go. Look at that. And another 38 Gs. For doing not very much. Let me just turn the wipers off, because I can hear them squeaking. There we go. So now we have, to summarise, $457,000, which is quite good. But this is, I think, how you play the game in the early days. You basically utilise the copay as much as you can. You can still see we only need to spend $13,000. So all those jobs that we've done would have racked up 9 plus 8, was that 17, 20 something. With servicing, we could have probably got that down to half. But as it stands, we're paying $13,000, so I'm going to clear these down now. Actually, no, I'm not going to clear them down. I'm not going to clear them down yet. I'm not going to buy the fees, buy the licenses just yet. We've still got a copay of 13. I want to find a DH4. When I find a DH4, what I'm going to do is pay the fees, and then we'll buy the DH4 license, which is 50k, and I may get some other licenses as well at the same time. But that is for the next video, I think. We are currently here at Forest South. There should be some log jobs to come out of here, but we shall see. Kind of want to go there at some point, but it's not necessary. But the main goal now is to find a DH4 and get a better ride. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, guys. Leave me your comments. Let me know what you think about the series, etc. And if you're not subscribed, why not subscribe? I've got plenty of Derail Valley videos here and on my second channel, Squirrel Plus, another YouTube channel, and over on my twitch.tv. I also stream on the weekends. Anyway, have a great day, guys. That's it from me. Take care. Happy trading.